So, do I think Star Wars is a dead brand? No. And I have to say that because there are some people who watch who don't even watch the full video, and then they'll go like, "Oh my god, you fat freaking incel, you don't know a damn." So, do I think it's a dead brand? No. I think it's just not good right now with Disney. If some other corporation was to pick it up that actually wanted to tell good stories, it would be great. We need to make Star Wars great again. We need to go back to the galaxy far, far away. And we need to tell good stories. Get Luke Skywalker back in. They did him dirty. They did him dirty in The Last Jedi. Not that great of a movie. They need to get him off that planet. They need to get him back in the game. But no, they need. Clearly, Disney doesn't care about Star Wars. Every Star Wars project they've had so far, they've just cratered it. And this is a franchise that's been around since the 70s, and when you have the second trilogy and people are looking back fondly on that, it's bad now. The Last Jedi was horrendous. The TV shows that have been coming out are terrible. And apparently Skeleton Crew, I mean, I don't hear anyone talking about it. It's clearly a failure. Is it woke? Is it what is it about the show? I'm not going to say it's one thing or another because I haven't seen it. So that's why I'm asking you guys, what is it? And I do not want to hear that, "Oh, you fat fucking incel, I love the show," and you're just looking. Numbers don't lie. No, the ratings are terrible for the show. So great, you like it? That's wonderful. But you liking it doesn't make it a success. So, I hate when people do that. They try to equate them liking it to it being a success. It's not. So, if you've watched the show, let me know what you think the reason is. If you like the show, great, but I'm not looking for people who are liking the show. Or if you like the show and have the, can say, "Oh, well, I like the show, but here's some things that hold it down, or there are these things that other people may not like." That's fine. I don't want to just hear that, "Oh, well, I like the show." Okay, good for you. That's not what I'm asking. That's not what I'm asking. But Skeleton Crew is Star Wars' greatest failure. Record low rating could mean Star Wars is a dead brand. It's not a dead brand. It just needs to be picked up by someone who actually cares about it. Skeleton Crew, the latest live-action Star Wars series on Disney Plus, has achieved a dubious milestone by failing to chart on any major streaming ratings measurement platform. This puts the show at the bottom of the franchise already struggling offerings, earning the inevitable title of the lowest performing star. That's pretty bad when you have, the Acolyte. And you want to know what's really bad about this? People care more about John Benet Ramsey, that, the little girl who was killed in the 90s. People rather watch that than this show. You guys remember that? And it's still being talked about. The parents totally did it. Come on. Come on. We know who did it. We know who did it. I mean, what do they have to do? They need to write a book about, like, if I did it? Before people take, like, come on. Come on. I was a kid back then. Even I knew who did it. The series starring Jude Law and targeting a younger audience with a mix of Stranger Things vibes and Star Wars lore has been met with overwhelming apathy rather than excitement or outrage. Nielsen's recent released its top 10 streaming charts for the week of Skeleton Crew's 2-episode premiere. That was a while ago, or a month or two ago. To put Skeleton Crew's performance in perspective, consider the benchmarks set by the other Disney Plus series and the competition on Nielsen's streaming or originals list. The lowest spot on Nielsen's latest chart belongs to the Great British Baking Show, with 382 million minutes viewed. Since Skeleton Crew failed to make the list, the total viewership was below that figure. So again, numbers don't lie. You like the show, great. It didn't make it a success though. With two episodes released, this means the series averaged under 191 million minutes per episode, a troubling statistic for a Star Wars property. Not really. I mean, come on, have you seen The Acolyte? For comparison, The Acolyte debuted its first 2 episodes, earning 488 million minutes viewed, an average of 244 million minutes per episode. Even Andor, which premiered with 3 episodes, managed 624 million minutes, averaging 208 millions per episode. Both of these shows outperformed Skeleton Crew significantly, despite The Acolyte facing lukewarm fan reception and Andor being touted as a slower-paced niche offering within the Star Wars universe. Both of those are also considered major failures. Yep. If The Acolyte and Andor are failures, what does that make Skeleton Crew? A huge failure. A huge failure. It's a huge failure. Star Wars used to be great. We need to go back to making Star Wars great again. We got a new MAGA. We need to make Anakin great again. Let's bring back Anakin. Let's do him some justice. You know. Then again, like I said, some people are looking at the second trilogy, and despite how cheesy some of it was and how bad it was, they're like, you know what? I mean, you had Samuel L. Jackson, you had Christopher Lee. You know, you had such great lines like, you know, you are the chosen one. Or the whole, it's over, Anakin. I have the high ground. You underestimate my power. You have the, you know, I don't like sand. It's coarse and it gets everywhere. I mean, you had stuff like that. And people are looking back on that and be like, they're like, I'm sorry. Maybe it wasn't as bad as we thought. Maybe we were just, maybe it was just misunderstood. You know, maybe Jar Jar Binks was a brilliant character. We just couldn't see it. But modern day, it's not about telling stories. About telling good stories. That's not what it's about anymore. This marks a new low for Star Wars under Disney's stewardship. While previous entries generated polarized responses or modest viewership, Skeleton Crew seems to have been met with outright disinterest. When a franchise built on engaging audiences and dominating pop culture fails to outperform a baking show, the question surrounding its failure becomes unavoidable. And again, not only a baking show, but like there was more people watching Who Killed JonBenet Ramsey. And this whole thing is madness. So that's pretty bad. Adding to the mystery, Samba TV, a service that often reports on streaming viewership, has remained silent about the show's performance. This follows the pattern in which poor performing Disney show series often go unmentioned. Yeah, it's kind of like with what is it, like Star Wars Outlaws with Ubisoft when they're questioned about it and they just don't bring it up at all. You know, when it comes to like copies sold, if it did some awesome number, then they'd be like, oh yeah, Star Wars Outlaws did an amazing thing. It sold this. But no, it's like people have to become sleuths and try to find out themselves how many copies it sold. Same thing with these people. in with movies or the series, now they'll use like episode 1 numbers, like from the first episode, because episode 1 is always the highest viewed one. It always has the big peepee numbers. So they'll say, oh well, we have 55 million viewers or something, or 200 million views or some crap like that. But it's like, it's the first episode. It's the first episode. People are always going to watch the first episode just to see what it's like. So they'll be, disingenuous with that kind of thing. It's like, give the number from the first episode and try to kind of expand it and paint it as if every episode is like that. It's like, no, it's the first episode. People are going to be... Doctor Who was the same thing. Jodie Whittaker, she got lots and lots of views for her first episode, and then it just kind of went down because people were like, oh, okay, I see exactly how she is. And it got worse and worse. So by the end of her run, there was only about 200 million views or so per episode. When the first one, I think her first run had, the first episode had like 11 million, which is a crazy number. So 11 million, and then it somehow drops to like freaking 4 million. So clearly, but they try to be disingenuous, like with stuff like that, and they think people are stupid. They think people are stupid and won't know. So, the lackluster performance of Skeleton Crew is more than just a single series failure. It's emblematic of a larger problem within the Star Wars franchise. Under Kathleen Kennedy's leadership, the future is female at Lucasfilm, and Brand One celebrated for its ability to unite generations of fans, has seemingly lost its magic, just like everything else at Disney. I've said before, Disney used to be about imagination, innovation, inspiration, but now it's just a husk, a shell of what it used to be. And you had these beautiful movies that would come out, that hand-drawn movies. Now they're just taking those movies and doing just soulless CGI live-action remakes, and Disney is not Disney anymore. They're doing the same thing with everything else. They're taking these franchises that people have loved, like Star Wars, that have been loved since the 70s, and just making them soulless now. They're just husks of what they used to be. I mean, that image of Luke by himself, like, that's exactly what how Luke is like just a shell of what he used to be. That's exactly what Star Wars is. Luke in The Last Jedi was a perfect representation of what Star Wars is now. They don't care about it. They just see it as this, and which is sad because it's not making them a whole lot of this. Because they're not putting any heart into it anymore. They're not putting any passion into it anymore. You get people who are criticizing the movie saying, well, this looks bad. Not even about specific person or something. It's like, it just looks bad. They're like, oh, you're just a bunch of phobes and isms. You just hate black people. It's like, did I even bring up anyone? No, I just said it looks bad. I didn't say what looks bad. I just said it looks bad, meaning the movie. And then, so you have people coming out and not being able to shut their mouths and just, oh, you're such a phobism. So the whole is just, it's pathetic. It's freaking pathetic now. Once a cultural phenomenon that could sell out theaters, yeah, and dominate merchandise shelves, yep. Star Wars now struggles to inspire even a fraction of its former enthusiasm. Yeah. The franchise hasn't had a theatrical release since 2019. And Hasbro, the company that owns the Star Wars toys license, is standing on the brink of financial ruin. The issues that plague modern Star Wars are the same that plague modern Disney as a whole. Unimaginative storytelling, creators obsessed with self-inserts, no respect for source material, and an embrace of divisive identity politics as the driving force behind the story and marketing of new projects. Oh my god, the Acolyte, or this is the gayest Star Wars project ever. Yeah, great way to market it, guys. And yes, they did refer to the Acolyte as the gayest Star Wars project ever. Do you know who that's going to appeal to? The chronically online individuals who are, oh my god, that's literally me. That, oh my god, that is such a vibe. Those are the people it's going to pander to and excite. Normal people are going to hear the gayest Star Wars project ever. Okay, fuck this shit, I'm out. When you're referring to your project as the gayest project ever, you're going to alienate everyone apart from the 2% of people who give a crap about that. But unlike the larger Disney company, which seems to be at least somewhat willing to once in a while explore options outside of identity politics, and found some success with Inside Out 2, Moana 2, Deadpool and Wolverine over at Marvel, Star Wars under Kathleen Kennedy's leadership seems utterly rooted in political messaging and won't deviate literally to save its life. Yeah, remember, the future is female, the Force is female. Lesbian space witches are the source of all the force in the universe. Even Skeleton Crew delves into muddy waters of identity politics and divisive non-traditional relationships with same-sex parents, evil white men, and girl boss characters who are good at everything. Yeah, yeah, uh, yeah. They said that the force is female, the future is female, whatever. It's just it's clear what they're trying to do. But Kennedy and her staff are of so-called creatives. The people have a photo of Luke Skywalker Walker on the wall of Lucasfilm with a red X through his face, are either oblivious to the failures or stubbornly unwilling to make a change of any kind. That's pathetic. Their choices on shows like Obi-Wan Kenobi, Oshka, and The Acolyte have increased fans, leading to passionate backlash. Incensed fans, leading to passionate backlash. No, but no, they're not fans. They're just a bunch of fat incels living in their parents' basement who just don't like black people, and they don't like women, and every other they're just phobes, this and isms, and they vote for Orange Man bad, and they kick puppies, and they don't wish people a happy birthday. Fans aren't just critical anymore; they're indifferent. The days of heated debates over The Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker have given way to a collective shrug. Apathy has replaced anger, which may be the greatest threat to any entertainment brand. As the saying goes, the opposite of love isn't hate; it's indifference. For Star Wars, this could signal a much deeper issue than simply a string of underperforming projects. Um, yeah, it's not a dead brand right now, but it needs love. Clearly, love that it's not getting from Disney. As a lifelong fan, I understood their message. Don't consume our ideologic product, and that was just what I did. I spend my hard-earned money on something else. In my case, retro gaming. Good. I've long hit the apathy stage with Disney Star Wars. Glad that the normies are finally catching up. It's dead, dead, dead. My teenage son and all his friends talk like us about it now. It's fascinating, actually, since the whole point of buying Lucasfilm and Marvel was to entice the boy market. But then all they do is just to have a bunch of girl boss moments, uh, belittle the men, emasculate men, because we need to prop up the little girls and show them that they could be strong too. Yeah, we already know. Princess Leia That was back in the 70s. But no, people don't remember that crap now, do they? But so I'm talking about Star Wars as a whole. As for this show, if it is a good show, or rather, if you like it, great. Clearly, it's not being viewed. Clearly, it's not being viewed. You know, a freaking story about a girl killed in the 90s is getting more views. So, if you like the show, great. That doesn't help the fact that it's not succeeding. If you have an idea about what's causing, is it the story? Is it the pacing of the story? Is it the characters? Like the how they're written? Because I'm sure people are gonna say it's not woke in the slightest. Okay, then what's causing it to fail? Let me know. I'm curious about it. So if people are gonna come out and say, which they are, it's not woke at all. There's no messaging. Okay, then what's causing it to fail? In your opinion, what is if you like it, great. But you need to be able to see it from another perspective of, okay, well, it is failing. So if I have to think of something, it would be this. Okay, so legitimate question. If you're going to say it's not woke, then what's causing it to fail? What's causing it to get so little views? But anyway, that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.